Olivier Giroud recalled as the main striker. Premier League home games, and 15 in.
Arsenal was the biggest loser in the week as the hope of a top 4 finish was shattered through goals from Dele Alli and Harry Kane. Officially, Arsenal will finish the season below Tottenham for the first time in 22 years. Unofficially, fans believe the lack of mental will to fight is responsible for Arsenal's many problems this season, while others believe Arsene Wenger is the problem. Next season, we hope to see which side is accurate.
If Leicester's unexpected title win and expected fall from grace has taught us anything, it's that one player can make all the difference. While Jamie Vardy and Riyad Mahrez took all the plaudits last season, Kante's continued rise has proven that he was the cog that held the whole team together. And finding an influential holding midfielder has long been the key to a successful team. But what makes the perfect defensive midfielder? There's only one place to start. It's not often that a player becomes so influential in a position that a role is actually named after them. While Claude Makelele was part of the Real Madrid Galacticos squad, it was his time in Chelsea that defined the Makelele role. After leaving Real Madrid, Makelele was criticised by club president Florentino Perez, who claimed, "We will not miss Makelele. His technique is average, he lacks the speed and skill to take the ball past opponents, and 90% of his distribution either goes backwards or sideways, and he rarely passed the ball more than 3 metres. Younger players will arrive who will cause Makelele to be forgotten." What Perez failed to recognise was, this was exactly why Makelele was so good. He wasn't there to take on opponents, and he wasn't there to play 40-yard passes. The Makelele role was straightforward. Use his engine and excellent defensive positioning to break up attacks and feed the creative players ahead of him, sparking counter-attacks. Win the ball, play it simple. That's the Makelele role. While a holding midfielder's primary purpose is to shield the defence, there are certain players who utilise the position in a very different way. And for those football manager lovers out there, this is the deep-lying playmaker. The deep-lying playmaker exploits the space between his own defence and midfield to dictate his team's play from deep. His deadly passing range and accuracy, coupled with time and space in the holding midfield position, is a recipe for success. Recognising that he could play the conductor role from deep, Andrea Pirlo was the equivalent of an NFL quarterback, calling the shots and sparking attacks with fierce accuracy. While he's certainly not known for his defensive abilities or physical dominance, Pirlo helps his teams defensively. He's able to collect the ball from the keeper, allowing the centre-halves to defend and not worry about starting off attacks. And for Pirlo, the role was all about finding space on an otherwise crowded pitch. In September 2008, a La Masia youth product was making its debut for Barcelona, who had the mental ability to shield the defence, coupled with superb technical ability. His name, of course, Sergio Busquets. Busquets' role in a star-studded Barcelona team has always been to read the whole game. He was the coach on the pitch, a player who could read every situation at both ends of the field and understand how it's best for him to support. Vicente Del Bosque summed it up best. If you watch the whole game, you won't see Busquets. but watch Busquets and you'll see the whole game. All three have played in the holding midfield role, but all interpret it in very different ways. Whether it's being the creative spark, the ball winner, or the on-field coach, they were all essential to their team's successes. The same remains today. Busquets continues to be Barcelona's anchor, managing the game from the whole, allowing the attacking talents of MSN, Rakitic and Iniesta the freedom to unleash in the final third. At Barca's arch-rivals Real Madrid, the deep-lying playmaker lives on through Toni Kroos. First at Bayern and continued at Madrid, Kroos's passing range certainly mimics what Pirlo did before him. So much so that Juventus themselves expressed an interest in the German as they look to him as a replacement for Pirlo. He's proficient at hitting any pass on a football pitch, and under Carlo Ancelotti, he made the deep-lying playmaker role his own. Labelled as the Professor by Ancelotti, Kroos understands how to exploit the space to create from deep. And the modern-day Makelele? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? N'Golo Kante. He's got the engine, he's tough in a tackle, and he snuffs out attack after attack. Quite simply, N'Golo Kante shields his defence better than anyone in the world right now. Kante covers so much ground on the pitch to protect his team that Hazard once claimed, "I think sometimes when I'm on the pitch I see him twice, one on the left, one on the right. I think I'm playing with twins." From Makelele and Andrea Pirlo through to N'Golo Kante, the holding midfield role is interpreted differently, but there is one trait that runs throughout: the football brain. Just because you're good at tackling or can spray a 50-yard ball doesn't mean you would fit the bill. You'd be found out within minutes. Many managers have attempted to move central defenders who can pass into midfield and central midfielders who can tackle into a holding role, but it rarely works. A top holding midfielder can see the whole game. They see the threat coming before it even arrives, and they see the bigger picture in front of them, understanding how to exploit it. There isn't such a thing as the perfect defensive midfielder, as each player interprets the role in a different way. But this season, Kante, who looks set to become the first regular starter to win the league back-to-back with different clubs, is